Okay, so this week something snapped back into place for me in a very unsettling but very clean way, very how did I not see this before way. These last days I've been walking around with that feeling where you keep stopping in the middle of the room and thinking, wait, but it was always like this. Why I just couldn't see it? And what's strange is I thought I already understand everything about how we create reality. Welcome back to the Wealth Identity Podcast. I'm Agnes. And today's episode is very raw because these last days something big just landed for me. I've taught for years that reality reflects assumptions, that identity creates experience, that who you think you are is what life answers. I wasn't new to this. I had many experiences where I changed my mind about something in my reality, situation, or condition, and reality rearranged immediately. But this was different. This was about seeing for the first time the actual machinery behind my entire life. The one silent assumption running my life. That one behind my decisions, behind my entire personality, behind my goals, and behind my desires. And that's the part that really got me, because I've chosen new assumptions before and I affirmed and reaffirmed who I am now, and I really meant it, and I wasn't pretending, I was in conviction. And still certain patterns kept showing up, delays, conditions, almost but not yet situations in, I don't know, money, timing, in opportunities, in how life met me. And I couldn't figure out why until suddenly I could. Now, let me slow this down, because what I'm about to describe is extremely simple, and because it's simple, we usually miss it. Reality doesn't follow what you want. It doesn't follow what you visualize. It doesn't follow what you repeat. It follows what you agree is true about who you are, your rules, your conclusions, the quiet sentences you live inside. And those sentences doesn't always sound dramatic. They don't announce themselves. They sound like reality. They sound like maturity, like being responsible, like this is just how it works. Those are the most dangerous ones because you don't question them. You don't even see them. You live inside them. And then reality just keeps being loyal to you. So that's the part people don't fully take in and is driving them mad. It did drive me mad for many years. That's the exact assumption that put me on a seeking journey to start with. So reality is not judging you, it's not rewarding or punishing you. It's not responding to your effort. It's responding to your position, where you are standing when you speak, what you silently assume about who you are, about yourself, about what's possible for you, what you can, what you cannot. And when that position changes, reality changes. Things reorganize very fast. I know that from my own life. Some of the biggest shifts I ever had didn't come from weeks of affirmations. They came from being done, like truly done, pissed off done, no negotiation done. Those moments where something in you just snaps and goes, no, I'm not living inside this anymore. I refuse this situation. I'm finished. This is my true choice now. And what's wild is when that happens, there's nothing to maintain. You don't keep working on it. You don't check if it's working, not working, if reality is changing, not changing. You don't look back. You moved, and reality follows. I watched that happen with my body, with symptoms, with illnesses, with different situations. that I've been stuck for years. And every time this happens, I look back and I'm like, why did I tolerate this for so long? Why did I think this is normal? Why did I stay here for so long? And when you do this kind of decision, when you recognize there's an agreement behind your life, and when I recognize mine, and because this one was not just about a symptom, about a specific thing in my life, but it was the assumption that actually was running my entire life since I was 6 years old. A moment where I wanted something simple, human, to be chosen, and it did not happen. And something in me concluded in that moment, I cannot have what I want unless I behave, unless I adapt, unless I wait, unless I deserve, unless conditions are met. I didn't write that sentence in a notebook, my system did. And that became the rule. Desire requires conditions. Not now, later, eventually, when, if. And then when I saw that sentence being mirrored back to me, I just sat there because it explained everything. Why, no matter how much I grew, how much I manifested, how much I shifted, evolved, or mastered, there was always some version of, yeah, but not bad, but almost, soon, after this, once this is so, one more, after you master this. So reality wasn't blocking me, it was agreeing with me, as it always does its job. It was saying, yeah, you're right, this is who you are. Someone who gets things after conditions are satisfied. Someone who waits, someone who qualifies, someone who arrives later. So my entire life was being postponed until a condition will be met in the future. I always knew they are only self-imposed limitations, but somehow I never seen this one. That's terrifying and liberating, because it means nothing was wrong with my methods. I just never left the courtroom. I kept changing my testimony while standing in the same role. That's the part I want to slow down here, because this is where people get confused. You can absolutely say new things about yourself. You can affirm, you can decide, you can declare, and still not move. Not because you are failing, but because you are speaking the new sentence from the old place. You are saying, I am abundant, while still positioned as someone trying to earn safety. You are saying, I'm free, while still checking reality for permission. You are saying, I'm chosen now, while still bracing for rejection. That's not dishonesty, that's invisibility. The deeper rule is running quietly underneath the new language. And reality listens to the deeper rule. That's why sometimes affirmations feel flat. That's why people say, I know this intellectually, but nothing's changing. It's because the core agreement hasn't been touched. Not yet. And when the core agreement is touched, it doesn't feel gentle, it feels final. There's nothing to do. It feels like, oh, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. That's not who I am. There's heat in it, there's clarity in it, there's authority in it. That's why I recognized in my past days, I wasn't calm, I was clean, I wasn't hopeful, I was finished. And that's why reality reorganizes, because the courtroom closes. No more negotiation with reality. And I wouldn't have seen it on my own. I tried. Not because I'm unconscious, because assumptions are invisible from inside themselves, because it's just so natural to us. You can't see water while swimming in it. Which brings me to what happened now versus ever before? Why could I see it now and not before? The last couple of weeks, I created a self-paced audio program actually for you. Yes, originally as a place people could go deeper after listening here. And then I felt wanting something more. So I went further and added an interactive live conversation space or element to it. A space where something that doesn't coach, doesn't fix, doesn't guide, doesn't heal, but reflects the assumptions you are holding about yourself, about money, about life in general. Reflect it back to you, clean, sharp, undistorted, so you can recognize it and say, oh, no, I'm done. And I kept refining it, making it better, sharper, removing interpretation, distortion. And then I started using it on myself. And it did exactly what it was designed to do. It mirrored me. And the more I talked, the more I saw myself. I saw the position I was speaking from because it was showing it to me. The rule, the sentence, the 6 years old contract. And once that was visible, I didn't need to heal it. I changed my mind and announced, no, there are no conditions to my desires whatsoever. There never were. Why? Because God is unconditional. Who you truly are behind this story is unconditional. Therefore, you can change your mind anytime about who you are. That's the wild part. But you cannot withdraw an agreement you don't know you are living inside. Sometimes you can. So that's the whole function of the mirror. You don't need it, but it helps you, shows you where you are talking from. So you can actually own your, I am done with this. So that's what this podcast is becoming for me now. Not about awakening, not about levels, not about ascension, about this. How agreements form, how they hide, how they get renewed without our consent, how they live inside language, how they masquerade as personality, and how they run everything in our lives. Money, relationships, bodies. And what it actually feels like when one ends, because it doesn't feel mystical at all. It feels obvious. Like, what the heck? It feels like waking up from a ridiculous contract you forgot you signed. A limitation you stepped into in an instant when you were, 4, 5, 6, and you forgot to step out. And you just go, oh, no more. And if you're listening and something in you is getting hot right now, if something in you is thinking, wait, what am I still agreeing to? Good. That's the edge. That's where withdrawal starts. And yes, the mirror opens the public to public in a few days, so you can try it out if you would like. And if this episode resonating with you, that's not random. It's pointing to a place in you that's already ready to stop negotiating. So that's what this episode was about. I hope it resonated with you. Let me know if there are any areas in your life right now where you're looking at the experience and you think, no, I refuse to agree with this. This is not my choice. And you can change your mind at any time and say, I am done with this. This is what I'm choosing. I'm done with this, with whatever I identified myself with. Now this is who I am. And then you choose, you declare, you go and move from that moment onwards as that you. No looking back, no negotiation, no waiting for permission from anyone, anything outside of you, not even from your body, not even from the 3D, which now you know is just a reflection of your assumption. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm so happy to read them, and I always come back to answer your questions. Thank you for being here, and if you liked this, please give me a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm and this message to go out for people who need it. Thank you.